Hello, and we are back for yet another episode of playing Eve. And I've been doing missions so far, and there's I don't feel like I ever really mentioned what kind of missions there are, but there are 5 different kinds of agents you can do missions for, not counting the career missions, or the career agents right now. But we can see here on this station we have a mining agent. On those missions we will be mining. Here's a R&D agent. R&D stands for research and development, where we will do a bunch of research together with that agent. We also have this Epic Arc agent, which is also a research and development agent, although the level 1 Epic Arc that we're doing right now is mostly shooting things. And in addition to these missions, there are security missions, which I believe we did do in a previous episode. Security missions is all about shooting things, and there are distribution missions. Distribution missions is all about carrying things between different locations. And lastly, there are storyline missions. Storyline missions you can only get when you have done a certain amount of missions for one of the other agent types. I don't quite remember how many missions it is, but I think it's around 16 or thereabouts. So if I say I went out and did 16 missions for the Gallant, and eventually I would get a storyline mission for the Gallant, which would increase the faction standing. These regular, the other type of missions only increase corporation standing, and we can see this station we're on right now belongs to the Creodron Corporation. So if we did this mining mission here, we would our reputation with the Creodron Corporation, or standing, maybe I should call it. It's called standing in this game. Would increase for each mission I completed, and after about 60 missions I would get a storyline mission, which would increase my standing with the Gallant Federation, because the Creodron is a part of the Gallant Federation. Anyway, let's go back into the Epic Arc here and see what Delphine Strarassier wants us to do. A recently established colony still depends on Federation support for items they can't produce yet. The last shipment of medical supplies were lost en route, and we think it may be due to rogue drone action. Regardless, this batch of supplies need to get through. Lives depend on it. So we just need to deliver these antibiotics to a certain location, and that location is in the system, so I'm just going to accept this. Colonial supplies. The Gallant Federation emphasizes personal freedoms and accomplishments, but they also believe in providing the tools for personal advancement. Gallant believe in investing in the future, so shipment of supplies for new colonies are almost always supported by lobbyists and the government. History has shown that the returns generated over the years more than repay the initial investment. And let's not forget to put the antibiotics into our ship before we undock, and then we can close this window as well and undock. Seems like we undocked right at the same time as this. Oh wait, our camera was just inside our own ship. I thought we were flying inside a bigger ship, but we weren't. Anyway, if you undock at the same time as a really large ship, so strange things can happen at the undock. I'm not gonna go into any details. colonial supply depot, and let's open cargo, turn on the afterburner, and speed towards it. And while we do that, I shall check our skill queue to make sure that we have something queued up. Last time we tried some additional gunnery support skills, but we didn't get this one to level 3 like all the others, so I'm going to queue that level 3 of this one up right after small hybrid turrets level 5. I really want small hybrid turrets level 5 because level 5 unlocks the Tech 2 guns, and also the small railgun specialization, which would increase the damage done by railguns even more, and remember that we are using railguns on this destroyer. There's also small blaster specialization, in case you prefer blasters, which are the close range hybrid turrets. Now, we are currently on the epic, level 1 epic arc, I should say, and at the end, I probably won't finish it for this video series, but at the end of it, you get to choose which faction you want to increase your standing with. So you can, even as a Calorian, you can choose to get a faction boost with the Gallants, which are otherwise enemies, but you can also choose Amarians to get a boost with them, or the Caldarians if you want to boost your standing with the same faction you're playing. Well, depends what faction you're playing, I suppose. But I play Caldarian, so I'm talking from their perspective. And you can also choose the Minmatar, of course, to get a standing boost with them, and you can redo this epic arc once every 3rd month. So it's a kinda a good way to grind standings with the factions if you really want to get into the positives with all of them. Remember I spoke a little bit about our standings, and our standings with the Minmatar and the Gallant is not the best right now.
Mission requested. Docking request accepted.
So if you really want to get up your standing with all the factions, you can do this epic arc once every 3rd month and get that up. Let's hand in this mission. Complete mission. Good capsuleers, always in short supply. I have an urgent recovery mission that I could use your help with. Let's not go into that recovery mission just yet. There are some other things I feel like I should talk about before, ending this video series, and I do feel like we are coming towards the end, so to speak. And remember, I'm on a trial account on this character, so and that trial is coming to an end as well, so I won't even be able to play this character anymore once that trial ends. Now, I think it's important to know for a new player that EVE Online is a sandbox. A sandbox game is a game where there are no defined goal by the developers for you to set out to. It's a lot about finding your own goals. For instance, if we take a look at the map here, in high sec, or sometimes it's referred to as Empire space, because all the space is controlled. All the high sec and low sec systems are controlled by the 4 factions that you can play as. But then we have some other regions, like we have Outer Ring over here. Here's where Outer Ring Enterprises hang out, that's also a NPC faction within the game. However, they don't have the security forces around their systems and such that that the empires have to make their system secure. So it's still not security systems. Other players can kill you here. The security doesn't go that far low though. And there are players living out here, mostly people interested in mining, though most of them are also in corporations that obviously try to control this region, so they can do all the mining for themselves. And remember I mentioned that the NPC faction that hangs out here, the Outer Ring Enterprises, are the OR. And OR stands for Outer Ring Enterprises, of course, and it's this faction that the Venture comes from, and all the other mining ships that we have here. Let's go back to the map here for a second. We also have all these other regions, and there are NPCs hanging out in some of them, mostly pirate factions, but we have the Jovians hanging out in Jovian Space. I think it's down here somewhere. There are no gateways out to Jovian Space. See, these systems lack the connection that these other systems have. The connection indicates that there is a Stargate connecting the two, so we can jump between those star systems. But the Jovian systems don't have that. And we have Declane over here. Here's where let me see, just so that I don't make a fool out of myself. Yes, this is where the Goonswarm Federation hangs out. Goonswarm is a alliance of player-run corporations, and what they basically do, generally in this area here, Fade, Declane, and I think they have some systems in Branch as well, is that they have their kind of like their own empire out in Nullsec. So they're like empire builders. There are two alliances in well, there are some empire builders in Fountain as well. There's Black Legion, Brave, and a few other alliances. Now Black Legion and Brave are fighting each other over this region, of course, and then we have there it is, Providence. Here's also a set of alliances hanging around and building their own empire. No, that wasn't the alliance I wanted to talk about. But I think there are some alliances fighting over Providence as well, but the major alliance I should say I wanted to mention was here it is, Curatores Veritatis Alliance. They were, I don't know how it is today, but they used to be quite heavily into role playing. So if you're a role player, you might look into that. And they also have a bit different policy on people entering their systems from most other nullsec alliances. Their policy is, if it's not red, don't shoot it. So even as a new player, when you don't have any contacts at all in nullsec, they would still allow you to enter their space and mine or rat or whatever. While as if you say went to Fountain, where Black Legion and Brave hangs out, they would kill you on sight. And kill you on sight is generally what goes for pretty much all of nullsec. But these Steve Gay guys decided to try and change that. Now, well, all I'm trying to say is that all these nullsec factions, they find their own fun in nullsec, and there are some alliances hanging out in highsec as well. There are people in highsec who try to do like everything to try and avoid PvP, and all they do is run incursions or mine or run missions or whatever. I don't really know any alliance or corporation that kind of does that, so I can't really recommend or suggest any. But the corporations and alliances that I talk about in Fountain are, well, let's just check some systems here. Sovereignty. There's Black Legion. We also have oh, that's also Black Legion. let's try up here. Show info. So here's Nerfed Alliance Go Away, which are friends with Brave. And let's see if we can't find a Brave system here. Flying Dangerous, also friends with Brave. Oh, that belongs to Serpentis, which is a NPC faction that hangs out in Fountain. That also belongs to Nerfed Alliance. Here's a Brave collective system. These guys, they and Black Legion are probably the biggest alliances in Fountain right now, and Brave and their friends are fighting Black Legion over Fountain, so lots of fighting going on. So if you're looking into learning PvP quickly, it might be a good idea to join one of those alliances. We also have the alliance hanging out in Catch, or several alliances I should say. We have no, those I've never heard about. Pandemic Legion, and they have a newbie friendly alliance as well, which is called let's see if I can find them. Against All Authorities is mostly a Russian alliance that also hang out in Catch. Was pretty sure that there would be the Volition Cult are friends with CVA, and since they have started taking a few systems in Catch, I guess they must be fighting the Pandemic dudes. But the other alliance I wanted to talk about, which are friends with Pandemic Legion, are let's go into I keep clicking the wrong button. It's this one I wanted. Pandemic Horde Alliance. Here we go. That alliance. Those are recruiting new people as well. Actually, I might suggest to everyone just typing everyone who is I know are recruiting new players. We have Brave Collective. Nerfed Alliance that I mentioned about. Nerfed Alliance, those are all also recruiting new players. We have Karma Fleet. Corporations, there we go. And Karma Fleet is not an alliance on its own, it's a corporation that is a part of Goonswarm Federation, which also recruit new players. I'm sure there's a lot of more corporations and alliances out there that are recruiting new players, but can't quite remember them all on top of my head. And there are obviously high-sec corporations, high-sec alliances, and low-sec corps and alliances recruiting as well. There's pretty much always somebody recruiting new players, so there shouldn't be short of that. And the point I'm trying to build up to is that all of these have their own different agendas and goals, and you should try to figure out what that is and see if this is something that you could imagine working towards. Corporations and alliances basically are a bunch of people that work towards a common goal, and then we have coalitions, which is alliances working together, but that's nothing that is directly supported within the game. For instance, the alliances that we saw in Fountain, Nerfed Alliance, Flying Dangerous, and Brave Collective are all part of the Hero Coalition. And Goonswarm Federation, along with some other bunch of alliances, are a part of the Imperium coalition. So my point is that you should it's easier to find fun when you play with others. So you should check in what they're up to and see if those goals or anything that you could imagine working towards. Also, these corporations and alliances are suggested that are recruiting new players. They often have, since they want to market themselves as corporations and alliances that recruit new players, they also often have people you can ask questions, pretty much anything about the game. So it's a good place to learn more about the game as well, because it's really hard to cover everything in a video series, especially since it takes quite some time to train into certain areas. So that's why I opted for shooting things, because I'd imagine that's what most people would be interested in doing. But to join a player-run corporation or alliance, you will most likely have to create an API key, and you can do that by going to the EVE Online website, community.eveonline.com. Then you click support, API key management, and you get to this page here. Then you just click here, and if you haven't logged in already, you would have to do so. And here we are. This is where we create our API key, and we can give it a name. I would give the one I send to the corporation I want to join for corporation. You can name it whatever you want, of course. Make sure that it has selected all characters, and type should be character. And you don't need to worry about the verification code. Access mask, you don't need to worry about that either. Just hit no expiry, and then on these things, make sure that they're all yellow. Right now they're all black, so we need to click on them all, but we can just click all out here. There we go. All, and then hit submit, and we have created a API key here. Now, you might remember that before I started clicking in things for the API key, it had access mask 0. Basically, an access mask explains what it shows. So they might ask for a specific access mask. Then you just click in just different things down there until you find the right access mask. But it's for joining a corporation, it's almost always this access mask, which is exactly everything. And now we have a API key here called corporation, and you can create more API keys if you like. And if you apply to a corporation and they don't, they reject your application, so they don't let you join them, then it's always a good idea to change your API key so they can't spy on you. So you just go back to this page, hit update, then just generate a new verification code, scroll down, submit. And then you're ready to try and apply for another corporation or alliance. Well, you have to join a corporation that is in a certain alliance to join that alliance, but there's a whole bunch of other things you can use API key for. I'll come back to that in a little moment. There are some other things I feel like a newbie definitely should know about. For instance, this website here called zkillboard.com. Here you can track kills and deaths that happens in PvP in the game. PvE kills or deaths does not show here, so if you die to NPCs, that death won't show up here. But kills will. Well, PvP kills will and PvP deaths. So if you die in PvP, it will show up here, and if you get killed, or if you kill something in PvP, it will show up here. We can, for instance, see up here, most valuable kills in the last 7 days, and we can see a on here, which is the Amarian super carrier worth 25.47 billion ISK got destroyed in the last 7 days. And this ship maintenance server is worth even more, 27 billion. But let's check this super carrier out, and we can see here that this super carrier belonged to the Gorgon Empire, and it was killed by Pandemic Legion. And they used a whole bunch of their own super carriers and titans to destroy it. Erebus is the Gallant Titan, Leviathan is the Kaldari Titan, Avatar is the Amarian Titan, we have the Panther, which is the Minmatar Black Ops battleship, some more titans, and here's a super carrier. Another website that is good to know about is EVE Central. EVE Central allows you to view the market in the game without having to go to a specific region or even log into the game. Remember when I talked about the market, and if we go into the market here, we can only see things that is being sold in the region we're currently in. And the region we're currently in is up here. It's Every Shore. To read your location up here, it goes System, Hararget, Security Status 0.8, and we're in the constellation Chasnai, and we're in the region Every Shore. And then we can see here we're on Planet 5, Moon 1, Creodron Factory Station. And this system belongs to the Gallant Federation. So that's how you read your location. Maybe I should have mentioned that in an earlier episode. But if you see or looking to buy something, let's say the MOA, which would be the cruiser that we would be flying with our current skills, all I would have to do is train the Kaldari cruiser skill and the medium hybrid turret skill, and I would be able to fly the MOA. So say if we started to look into buying the MOA, we can show in from the MOA here on the market. We can even see market details, and we can see that in this system it costs 14 million ISK. But I think we can get one for about 10 million ISK if we buy it on the right place. So let's search for the MOA on EVE Central and hit enter. And it finds MOA in several different items here, but here's just MOA, which is the ship we want to buy. And we can see here the cheapest MOA available in the game right now is in Defsunun for 8.5 million ISK. However, this is a 0.1 security system, so that's quite deep into low security space. And we don't want to go to low security space or null security space, so let's go up to the first high-tech system here, which is Agile, which is over in Canid region, which is pretty far away from where we are right now. But there, we can round up to 10 million ISK on that one, so my prediction there was quite correct about its price. If we want to buy it at a place we know where it is, like a trade hub, we have Amar here, which is the primary trade hub in Amar space in the region Domain, where it goes for just over 10 million ISK. And this out here you can see when it was last updated. So this query here was updated 1 hour ago, and there's just one for sale, so chances are pretty high that it has already been sold. And here we can see when the sale order expires. So if it expires the same day as you're playing on or viewing the market here, you might want to hurry up and buy something. Now, there are also some third-party tools that you should know about as a new player. We have EveMon, which allows you to make skill. It's basically a third-party program where to put in your API key, and yes, now I've come back to the API keys. So put in your API key into this third-party program, and it allows you to monitor your skill training without having to log into the game. You can also monitor a few other things like how much money you have and things like that. You can also make skill plans in EveMon. So if you're aiming to fly a certain ship, like the MOA, we could figure out exactly what we would need to train to be able to fly that ship using the software. So let's go ahead and create another API key for EveMon, or third-party applications, I can call it. So create new API key, and in name we put in third-party apps, character all, no expiry. Then we just check everything here again and submit. Now, you might wonder, why don't we just use the same one down here that we did for our corporation? The reason being that you might not be in the same corporation forever. So then you would, when you leave a corporation, as I say, or want to join a new one, you go in here and update this API key, send the new verification code to the new corporation you're joining. And that means the old corporation won't be able to spy on you, view on your wallet and all the things that we ticked in the API key. And at the same time, that won't screw up your third-party applications such as EveMon or EFT, which we have here. It has no website of its own, so it's just a forum post on the forums, official EVE Online forums, I should say. And there are 2 download links, but I prefer the alternative mirror. It just way less of a headache than the first download mirror. Now, EFT stands for Eve Fitting Tool, which allows you to fit ships. For instance, here I have EFT, Eve Fitting Tool, and here's the cormorant that we're flying right now. So I already fitted in EFT and figured out exactly what skills I had to train to be able to fly it. So EFT can be used to figure out exactly how with your current skills. You have to import your API key here too, of course. So it helps you figure out exactly how you can fit your ships with your current skills. And at the same time, it helps you say if you make a fit and you just can see in EFT that you can't fly that ship because you don't have enough power grid, or you don't have enough CPU, or missing some skill or two, then it can help you out figuring out exactly what skills you're missing. For instance, the character selected here I called Amar Nubro, and it's not a character that exists in game because I just created a dummy character for EFT for this video. And if I hold my cursor over this red box here, I can see that Amar Nubro, to be able to fly this cormorant with this fitting that the exact fitting we're flying in game right now, we need to train Caldari Destroyer level 1, shield upgrades level 3, shield rigging level 1, and shield rigging level 1 for 2 of the modules that are placed here. That's why it listed 2 times. But obviously we would only have to train that once. So that's how this works. And I feel like that kinda sums up this episode pretty well. And since the epic arc is kinda really repetitive, you just fly around and you shoot things, and you fly around and you shoot things. So I don't think I will be doing that anymore. So this is really the end of this video series, and I hope it was helpful to you. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them, and I will answer them best I can. Fly safe.